CNN10, your objective explanation of news from around the world. And I'm Carl Azus. It's good to have you watching again this Monday. In the South Asian country of India, exhaust from old cars and motorcycles, pollution from industries, dust, smoke from cooking, and fires from when farmers burn their crop stubble. All of this contributes to the toxic air pollution in the Indian capital of New Delhi. More than 25 million people live there, and many of them are suffering with air conditions that one doctor compared to smoking 50 cigarettes a day. Now, United Airlines has suspended its flights to the city because of what it called poor air quality concerns. At least through Monday, no United flights are landing in, taking off from, or connecting in India's capital. The company is treating conditions there like it treats severe weather or other events like a volcanic eruption. For those with flight tickets, United is offering travel waivers to allow passengers to choose another flight without paying for the change. New Delhi is under a public health emergency. Schools have been closed. Trucks from other areas are not allowed to enter the capital. Construction projects have been put on hold. Pollution is not something that's new for the city. It's a part of life there, especially this time of year. But that doesn't mean that residents can get used to it or avoid suffering from it.
This is India Gate, one of Delhi's most famous landmarks. It's about 42 meters high, and here's what it looks like on a summer's day. So how do you make it disappear? Well, just wait for winter. I'm standing just a few hundred meters from the monument, and as you can see, nothing. Trust me, it's right there, behind the thick, dense and dirty haze. And it's been like this pretty much all week as air quality in Delhi fell to hazardous levels. And right across from India Gate is the Presidential Palace, another famous Delhi monument. It's massive, more than 300 rooms. Again, you can barely see anything. And it's not just what you can and can't see. You can actually taste the filth that's hanging in the air. It hits your throat and it makes you feel ill. Just ask Sher Singh, a traffic cop who's been on duty all week, working 12-hour days in the pollution. It makes our eyes burn and it's difficult to breathe, he says. The smog comes every year when the temperature drops, wind speeds fall, and a mix of dangerous pollutants settles over the city. 19-year-old Kishore also spends his days on Delhi's congested roads. He's a street hawker. For him, pollution means watery eyes, but also a way to make more money. Me and my friends, we used to sell balloons, he says, but the pollution is so bad that we switched to selling masks. 2 days ago, we got 1,000 pieces. We've already sold 700. But it's not been easy. Kishore works at one of the busiest and most polluted traffic junctions in the city. By the time I get home, my throat and my eyes hurt. Everything, he says, smells of smoke. Now, believe it or not, this isn't the worst it's been this week. At one point, the level of pollutants in Delhi's air was almost 40 times what the World Health Organization deems safe. Now, I'm in a busy market in the center of town, and I've got a portable meter with me that tells me how bad the air really is. Blue is good. Purple is hazardous. And look, we're still hazardous. Nikhil Kumar, CNN, New Delhi.
10-second trivia. Which of these Disney products is oldest? Magic Kingdom, Sleeping Beauty, The Jungle Book, or Disneyland? Both of the movies and the Magic Kingdom theme park opened after Disneyland did. That was in 1955. The Disneyland park in Anaheim, California recently shut down 2 of its cooling towers because of concerns about Legionnaire's disease. Cooling towers are used to bring air and water together to make the water cooler. Then it can be used for things like refrigeration. Disneyland has 18 of these towers, and the park says it recently shut down, treated, and disinfected 2 of them because elevated levels of Legionella, the bacteria that cause Legionnaire's disease, were found there. Health officials say in all, 12 people have come down with the disease since visiting Anaheim since September. 9 of them had been to the Disneyland theme park.
We might not hear about Legionnaire's disease all the time, but actually it's not a rare disease. Every year in the United States, between 8,000 and 18,000 people are hospitalized with Legionnaire's disease. The bacteria that causes Legionnaire's disease, it's natural. It's naturally found in hot tubs, in decorative fountains, and in cooling towers. Cooling towers are part of the air-conditioned system. So if the bacteria gets into the towers, that means it can get into the air conditioning. Legionnaire's disease is not spread person to person, it's spread through the air. When people come down with Legionnaire's disease, they start out just not feeling well. They have a headache, their muscles are achy, and then after that, that's followed by a high fever, sometimes as high as 104 or 105 degrees. Most people who get this disease develop pneumonia. Most people recover when they get Legionnaire's disease, but between 5 and 30% die. The people who are most likely to die from Legionnaire's disease are the elderly and people who have underlying medical problems.
It was a weekend of honoring those who've served their countries. Armistice Day events in France marked the 99th anniversary of the end of World War I. Remembrance Day in Britain honored veterans' sacrifices in conflicts since World War I. And across the U.S., ceremonies, parades, and even marathons were held as Americans celebrated Veterans Day. There are some veterans-related programs where the American public is not allowed. The Lockwood Animal Rescue Center in California is an example. It says it's restricted so that the veterans and the animals it serves are given the privacy they need to heal.
There's something about being part of nature. There's something about being around these animals. To even the most wounded veteran, they feel different. Keeps them part of something greater than themselves. The idea is that you've got to give someone who's been through a severe trauma an opportunity to heal. And we believe at the Warriors and Wolves program, in a back to nature setting, it does that. We have 40 animals at this facility.
There you go. You got it. You'll get that.
We've rescued wolves off of chains in Alaska as part of a roadside attraction. We rescued wolf dogs from a backyard breeder in San Diego. I think for all the veterans that we bring out here, whether they work here or they're here for a support group, what rings true is if they can heal, I can heal.
The wolves, they know if you're injured or something's wrong with you, and they have that trauma. So, we have some type of trauma in life. We can get that connection, and one wolf would be your friend for life.
What happens is one animal picks that one veteran. Never again does that animal pick someone else. Never again does that animal want to show the same kind of affection to someone else.
What a good boy. Conventional therapy isn't really something for me. It didn't help, to be honest. After 10 years of military life, it was sort of a tough transition. Had I continued down my course of being angry, drinking myself to death, may have been the last chapter of my life.
There are things I've seen that I can't unsee. There are things I've done that I cannot undo. Just saying that, well, I did it in the name of my country doesn't help you sleep at night. But what does help you sleep is having a companion.
They kind of teach you how to be calm and confident. It's got some deeper meaning when they accept you. They accept you into the family, part of the pack.
Our friends at Guinness have some pretty crazy world records when it comes to hula hooping. The most hula hoops spun at once. The fastest marathon run while hula hooping. Two good examples. Here's a new one. The record-sized hoop itself measured almost 17 feet in diameter, and Japan's Yuya Yamada just twisted his way into the record books. He hula hooped it up for at least 3 complete revolutions while keeping the ring between his shoulders and his hips. You could tell it took a whole lot of strength, skill, and balance for him to put his own spin on the twist and shout. It was like he was starting a revolution. And though no one can hoop it up quite like him, he runs circles around the competition. And that's exactly what you'd expect from the Lord of the Ring. I'm Carl Jesus for CNN.